As someone who keeps manifesting the impossible again and again, I want you to know this. What you want is possible for you, even if it does not feel like right now. And you can have it, even if you doubt it. And the reason I know this to be true is because I manifested some crazy stuff in my life. Many times, things that were completely impossible or look like impossible just before they become my normal. I manifested 6 figures in my business when the starting point was 0 income years. I manifested my soulmate partner when the starting point was me feeling completely messed up inside myself and heartbroken. I manifested my ideal health when the starting point was being faced with the possibility of death. And today I am the healthiest I've ever been as an adult. I manifested my ideal house, this $1 million house in which we are living, when the starting point was feeling blocked into an apartment that I didn't want to live in during pandemic. And I was told that a house like this in the location I wanted, within the price range I wanted, with the different qualities that this house has that I wanted, did not exist. And yet, here we are. So all this is to say that if you have a crazy big dream, desire that feels so far away that you are almost giving up on it, don't do it. In this video, I will show you how it's simpler than you think to manifest what you want and how you can have it even when you have doubts. Hi, I'm Cristina, and if you are vibing with mastering your subconscious mind in order to create illogical results, and if you want to grow your spiritual business while also living an extraordinary life and feeling good, powerful, at peace within yourself, then hit the subscribe button and stick around. So, in order to understand how to manifest the impossible, even when we have doubts, we need first to understand the 2 different fields of manifestation, the differences between them, what each one of them is, and how we operate in each one of them in order to get the results that we want, in order to create pure magic. The first field of manifestation is the realm of logic. It's an automatic manifestation field and is the place where most people are living. In this field, the results are linear. They are according to logic. What we get or what we believe that we'll be getting makes sense based on the historical results. So there is an input and an output, and the output is always depending on the input. And the rules that are ruling here are the Newtonian rules. There is a cause and there is an effect, and we can see how each event is determining the next. The results we are getting in this field are very predictable and very linear. And as most of the people are operating in this field, we are taught that this is what our reality is. That's all that it is. And in this reality, we are also taught that the harder we work, the better results we are getting. And in the beginning, it's quite correct. I mean, we start working and we are starting to get some results. But the problem comes when we start desiring more, we start wanting more. So then we work more, we work until burnout sometimes, but the results don't really reflect what we are putting in, all our work. And that's when we start having glimpses into the limitation of this field. We understand that working harder will never be able to give us the big, crazy results that we want. And I'm inviting you to think from this perspective. The poorest people in the world are the people who are working the hardest. And the wealthiest people in the world are working nowhere near to match the results that they get. So when we think about how the linearity, it stops working after a certain level, we understand the limitations of the logic realm, of the predictability realm, and we start understanding that there are other forces, unseen forces, illogical forces that are operating in our realities. And before we get into what these forces are and how they are molding our reality and how we can intentionally start using them, I want you to know this. Everything we define as illogical, improbable, unreasonable, unreachable is based on what we can see and sense in this field of logic, in this field of physicality, in this field of linear growth. That's how we define what is possible, based on history, based on past results. But there is another field that lives beyond the logic, beyond the linearity, and that is the field of intentional manifestation, the field of possibility. And this is where we create magic. This is where we create illogical results. This is where we create shifts of realities that make no sense, because this realm, as we are saying, lives above the logic, above the linearity. And once we start understanding that there are these invisible forces, that there are possibilities that we are receiving in our lives that are not making any sense, that's when we start peeking beyond the veil. That's when we start understanding little by little how this field of possibility, of intentional manifestation works. And this is the place from where you can create anything you want, no matter how impossible, improbable, or unreasonable it looks like. So I want to share with you how I personally use this field in order to create all the crazy results that I shared with you before. I used my imagination, and I'm gonna share with you exactly how you can use it also to your benefit, so that you create the same crazy logical results. So every time I found myself in a reality, in circumstances that I felt like could be improved and were not exactly what I wanted, I started intentionally creating my next level reality. And this meant going for pockets of time throughout the day in which I would turn inward and I would go up into my imagination and I would rewrite a story. I would connect myself with the experience of having what I actually wanted. So when I was heartbroken, I was going into my imagination and I was feeling myself in a healthy, loving, soul-filling relationship. When I was manifesting my business growth, even if I had zero results in the physical world, I would go into my imagination and I would connect with the feeling of receiving money, receiving clients, celebrating clients, clients celebrating their wins, me celebrating my big income amounts. When I was manifesting my health, I was going into my imagination and I was feeling myself healthy, strong, energetic, full of life. When I was manifesting the house in which we are living today, I was going into my imagination and I was walking the corridors, I was walking the garden, I was feeling the smell of the vegetation around, I was looking through the window walls that we have. I was connecting with having that reality. And I want to give you a key here. The most important part, way more important than visualizing with all the colors, with all the details, whatever is the experience that you are calling in, more important than anything is to feel the feelings of having it and to feel how normal it gets to be in that reality. Like, it's important also to de-pedestal our goals, de-pedestal our manifestations, because this pedestaling is what creates friction, what creates resistance, and the gap, the separation between us and our goals. So this is what I was doing. I was going throughout the day and imagining, allowing myself to feel the experience of having what I wanted. And if during this exercise, this practice of imagination, I was feeling any fear, any resistance, any doubt, I would work with that resistance by simply reminding myself, even if I have these doubts, even if I have these fears, it is still possible for me to receive what I want. So you see, in the beginning, when we start our practice of imagination, there could be quite of a resistance, there could be quite of a doubt around, oh my god, this is so big, this is this has never happened, this is not meant for me, who am I'm not the kind of person, blah blah blah. It's the chatter of the subconscious mind, right? So we want to not fuel that resistance, and the only way of not fueling the resistance and releasing the resistance is by allowing it to be, reminding ourselves, no matter this resistance, no matter these doubts, no matter these fears, I can still have what I want. It is still possible for me. So at the end of this imagination process of connecting to the feeling of the experience that I was calling in, and working with the resistance by allowing myself to feel that it's still possible for me to receive what I want, even if I had resistance around it, the last step was to surrender it, to detach from my manifestation. And this detachment was as simple as reminding myself, I want this, I want to have the health, I want to have the $1 million house, I want to have my love and soul filling relationship, I want to have the successful business, but I don't need it in order for me to feel safe, to feel okay, to feel at peace, to feel good inside myself right now. So I keep reminding myself, I want it, but I don't need it. And I blew spaciousness between me and my desire, between me and the manifestation, so that there is no attachment, so that there is space for the manifestation to be received. Now, here's the truth. In the beginning of this practice, every single time I used it, I was coming back from my imagination exercise and returning to reality. And in the beginning, the reality was completely unchanged. I was still having zero income, or slim income. I was still feeling sick inside my body. I was still messed up and heartbroken. I was still confined in an apartment when what I wanted was a house. I was still in the old realities. But instead of feeling defeated or thinking, oh my God, nothing changed overnight, I am back here in this reality, how can I be so delusional? Instead of that, I knew that each practice of going into my imagination was building up, because each time I was going and I was connecting with the feeling, with the experience of having what I wanted, I was allowing that impression to sink into my subconscious. I was allowing my body to hold a new frequency and become a match for a different reality, for a different timeline. And through this immersion into a new frequency, through this imprinting of my subconscious, I was sending the signal out into the possibilities field, into the quantum. And in the quantum, in the invisible, things were starting to be rearranged. Events, opportunities, people, coincidences, synchronicities were starting to line up in a way in which at one point they were all gonna converge in order to give me the result I wanted. So every time you go into your imagination, everything you do there, every frequency of your wanted, desired experience that you are holding is adding up and is informing the field around you, the field of possibilities, to start moving and to rearrange things so that you in the end get what you want. In this field, the reason, the predictability, the logic do not matter, because they don't function here. They function in the lower field of predictability and logic, in the logic realm. But in the field of possibilities, we are operating above logic, above what makes sense. And in this field, your biggest tool, as we were saying, is your imagination. So this is my encouragement for you to use your imagination. Go and hold the experience of having what you want and having it already now. And then after you feel yourself into that experience and you sense it with all your senses, allow yourself to release resistance and then to detach by reminding yourself, even if I have these doubts, it's still possible for me to receive what I want. And I want what I want, but I don't need it, because I can be and I can feel safe, okay, happy within myself right now. So guys, I would love to know what is coming up when listening to all this. I would love to know if you are gonna use this process of creating the impossible again and again in your lives. And if you enjoy this video, I would love for you to hit the like button, because that will be helping the algorithm to show this video to more people that need this reminder, need this message. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe and the bell button, because once you hit the bell button, you'll be receiving notifications every time I post a new video, and you might enjoy it. Okay, now, so if you desire to take your reality creation journey further, I'm inviting you to watch this video here, all about how to actually quantum leap into a higher reality.